For thousands of years, one civilization stood apart from the rest of the world. A civilization that built enormous walls across mountains, invented technology centuries before anyone else, and developed philosophies that continue to shape billions of lives today. A civilization so ancient and complex that historians still struggle to fully understand it. This is the story of China, a land of emperors, inventions, and mysteries that stretch back more than 4,000 years. How did this civilization survive the rise and fall of countless dynasties? Why did it develop in ways so different from the rest of the world? And what secrets from its ancient past continue to influence modern society? Before we begin this journey through one of the world's most fascinating civilizations, if you enjoy deep history documentaries and stories about ancient cultures, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with others who love exploring history. Now, let's step back in time to the origins of one of the most mysterious civilizations in human history. The story of Chinese civilization begins along the banks of the Yellow River, one of the cradles of human civilization. Thousands of years ago, early agricultural communities settled along this river because its fertile soil allowed them to grow crops and sustain large populations. Over time, these small settlements grew into organized societies. One of the earliest historically recorded dynasties was the Shang Dynasty, which ruled around 1600 BCE. The Shang were remarkable for several reasons. They developed one of the earliest writing systems in the world. They created sophisticated bronze weapons and ritual objects. They established complex religious practices involving ancestors and divination. Archaeologists have even discovered oracle bones, used by Shang priests to predict the future. But these discoveries raise a fascinating question. How did a civilization thousands of years ago develop writing, religion, and political systems so advanced for its time? To answer that, we must look deeper into the philosophical foundations of Chinese society. Few civilizations in history have been shaped as deeply by philosophy as China. Two thinkers in particular transformed Chinese culture forever. The first was Confucius, a philosopher who lived during a period of political chaos. Confucius believed society could achieve harmony if people followed moral principles such as respect for elders, loyalty to family, ethical leadership. His teachings became the foundation of Chinese political and social life for centuries. Another influential philosophy was Laozi, the legendary founder of Taoism. While Confucianism focused on order and social responsibility, Taoism emphasized harmony with nature and the mysterious forces that govern the universe. Together, these philosophies shaped how Chinese people understood their world. But ideas alone were not enough to build a powerful civilization. China also mastered the art of empire. For much of its history, China was ruled by powerful dynasties, families that controlled the empire for generations. One of the most important turning points came with the rise of the Qin Dynasty. Its ruler, Qin Shi Huang, became the first emperor of a unified China in 221 BCE. His achievements were extraordinary, standardizing Chinese writing, creating a national road system, beginning construction of the Great Wall of China. But Qin Shi Huang was also obsessed with immortality. His tomb, guarded by the famous terracotta army, remains one of the greatest archaeological discoveries ever made. Yet the Qin Dynasty lasted only a short time, and the next dynasty would lead China into a golden age. Under the Han Dynasty, China expanded its influence far beyond its borders. This era saw the creation of the legendary Silk Road, a vast network of trade routes connecting China with the Middle East, Central Asia, Europe. Through the Silk Road, China exported valuable goods such as silk, porcelain, and paper. But trade did more than move products. It also spread ideas, religions, and technologies across continents. In many ways, the Silk Road became the ancient world's version of globalization. But the story of China's mysteries does not end with trade. In fact, some of its greatest secrets lie in its remarkable inventions. Long before many other civilizations, China produced innovations that transformed human history. Among the most famous were paper, printing, gunpowder, the compass. These inventions revolutionized communication, navigation, warfare, and knowledge. For example, The invention of paper allowed information to spread more widely than ever before, and the compass made long-distance sea exploration possible. These technologies eventually spread to Europe and helped shape the modern world. Yet despite these achievements, China often remained isolated from outside influence. For centuries, China saw itself as the center of civilization. Foreign lands were often viewed as distant and less developed. This belief was reflected in the very name China used for itself, Middle Kingdom. Because of its geographic barriers, mountains, deserts, and oceans, China developed largely independent from other civilizations. This isolation helped preserve unique cultural traditions, languages, and social systems. But it also contributed to the aura of mystery that surrounded China in the eyes of outsiders. European travelers who visited the empire often described it as a land of incredible wealth and strange customs. One such traveler was Marco Polo, whose stories fascinated the medieval world. By the 19th century, China faced growing pressure from foreign powers and internal struggles. The once powerful imperial system began to weaken. Eventually, the last dynasty, the Qing Dynasty, collapsed in 1912. This marked the end of more than 2,000 years of imperial rule, but China's story was far from over. In the decades that followed, the country would transform dramatically, eventually emerging as one of the most influential nations in the modern world. Today, China is a global superpower. Yet beneath its modern cities and advanced technologies lies a civilization with thousands of years of history. A civilization shaped by philosophers, emperors, inventors, and explorers. A civilization that has survived wars, revolutions, and dynastic changes. And perhaps that is why China continues to fascinate historians and travelers alike. Because even after thousands of years of study, many of its secrets remain.